Hi Charlie, welcome to the 102nd day of my video polling experiment where I break down and analyze the LinkedIn poll that I posted last week and that closed this morning. Now, last week's question was inspired by a recent thought that I had about how many movies I had watched in the past year and how many of those movies I had decided not to watch because they were either watered down sequels of great films or boring remakes or based on existing IPs that I wasn't interested in, i.e. intellectual properties. So I asked the poll question, which movie would you prefer to watch at a movie theater? That is, you have to pay for a ticket to see this movie at the movie theater, so there is that kind of monetary and time investment in it. It's not just logging onto Netflix that you're already paying a monthly subscription for and happening to stumble across one of these movies. So anyway, there were three answer choices: original, sequel, and based on a book. Now, I was really curious to see how this distribution would turn out, because as we all know, movie studios prefer to either make sequels based on existing material that is already popular, that already has a built-in audience, or that is based on a popular book, again, to get that built-in audience to maybe have those core supporters kind of spread good word of mouth to the mainstream audiences and make back the investment into the movie. So this poll got 79 votes, which is right under my average of 80 to 85 votes per poll, which shows that this poll was on average kind of an averagely popular poll. And of these 79 voters, 68% of them said they'd prefer to watch an original movie. 8% said they'd prefer to watch a sequel, and 24% said they would prefer to watch a movie based on a book. This is really interesting because original movies don't tend to do particularly well in movie theaters right now. Of course, there are directors out there who are making those more avant-garde films, movies with truly original ideas that aren't based on books or existing movies. But audiences seem a bit risk-averse in the sense that they would rather have a kind of tried and true formula, especially if they're going to be paying for a movie theater ticket. They're going to be having to spend at least a couple of hours in the theater trying to explore this new material. And some might consider it a bit risky to spend that money on an original movie rather than just, for instance, waiting for it to be released to Netflix or Hulu. So anyway, here are some statistics about the movie industry. In 2024, 569 movies were released in the United States and Canada. This might seem like a lot, but this is actually 34.7% below the 872 peak movies that were released in 2018. This was the highest number of movies released in recent history. In 2024, the USA and Canada earned $8.56 billion in box office revenue. This is, however, 21.5% below the peak box office revenue of $11.89 billion in 2018. 830.8 million movie tickets were sold in the USA and Canada in 2022. This is 47.3% below the peak of 1.58 billion movie tickets sold in 2018. However, this decline could also be partially or fully explained by COVID-19, which had happened just a few years earlier, and people were still a little bit hesitant about going out in public for their entertainment. A lot of people were still gravitating towards staying at home and watching Netflix. So anyway, Charlie, thank you for listening to my little spiel about movies and movie theaters. And before I go, I would like to show you this poll as it appears on LinkedIn, just to prove that I'm not making this distribution up. Here is the poll as it appears on LinkedIn. As you can see, it got 79 votes. The most popular answer choice with a majority of the votes was watching an original movie, which 68% of my voters said they would prefer to do. So anyway, Charlie, thank you so much for listening to my little spiel about movies and movie theaters, and stay tuned for my 103rd video poll analysis tomorrow. Thanks for listening and have a wonderful day.